Yo, can you hear me? Anyone in chat? Can anyone hear me? Chat, hear me? Yo, no, it's not. The Aeon video is not right. I'm gonna react to the video right now. So, like, can you hear me, Billy? Yo. Fucking- Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. Boy, drip sauce in the house. Fucking clean views. Yo, chat, can you hear me? Yo, chat, can you hear me? Can anyone in chat hear me? Yo.
My work is easy because I use ClickUp. Here's how I keep track of all my tasks. I start by brain dumping
feats and state.
Trying to make a debunk? Yup. Maybe look what you have started. Yo. Why is this? Can you hear me now? Yo. Billy, can you hear me now? Can anyone hear me? Okay. This is going to be a problem. So, anyways, we're gonna be opening another YouTube tab. No, 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 no. What am I searching? Madara versus admirals.
9-tailed fox versus... Hey, how's it going, everyone? So, I had originally planned to make a what if Madara invaded Marineford video, but I ran into some problems with both the writing of Marineford and the feats presented that made it very difficult for me to just put Madara in Whitebeard's place. So, instead, I
Yo,
asked
can
you
anyone
guys
hear
if you
me?
wanted me to make a versus battle between Madara and the Admirals, and most of you that
Chat?
voted on the poll wanted this instead, so here we are. For those of you that did want the what if video, I haven't scrapped the idea, and I will come back to it later. The structure of this video will be different from my other versus battles. Instead of telling you guys who I think would win by using their feats, statements, and narrative, I want to take a more methodical approach. I will simply present the information, my thought process behind some of the feats and statements, possible interpretations one may have, and I'll offer up some arguments for both sides while also tackling some possible arguments that may come up. This battle will be split up into multiple parts.
Like the way he's talking, you'll think he's going to be very honest, but trust me, this guy's biased. He's biased. He's biased towards One Piece. It's not even close. A lot of people tell me that I'm biased, but at least I say it out loud. Like, of course, I prefer Naruto. Everyone knows that. But if Luffy comes out and eats like the sun, I'm not gonna say, "Oh, Naruto is fucking solar system level" or something like that, and start scaling Naruto to higher levels just because I want him to beat Luffy. If Luffy does something legitimately more impressive than Naruto, I will tell you that Luffy wins. I might be biased, but I don't lie. So from right off the bat, you can already tell that this guy is biased. He's biased towards One Piece. So let's see what he's gonna say.
EMS Madara with the 9-tailed fox versus each admiral separately.
Madara doesn't need a Nine Tails. Just trying to put that out there. Madara does not need the Nine Tails to take out any of the admirals.
OS Madara versus each admiral separately, and finally 10 Tails Madara versus all 3 admirals. I don't think I need to give any in-depth explanation for any of these characters. However, I will go over specific portions of each individual toolkit as it becomes necessary. As always, there won't be any verse equalization. And if you like my content and want to see more, I would really appreciate it if you could like and subscribe. With all that
Well, no verse equalization. You heard him. I don't really use that either way, but if you want to play it like that, well, let's go.
out of the way, let's begin. I want to start off this video talking about speed. EMS Madara doesn't really have that many tangible light
What? Oh my god. He right off the bat, he's saying Madara does not have any good light speed feat. And I know where he's going with this. He wants to say Kizaru's light speed, so Madara gets blitzed by Kizaru. And all the other admirals kill the light speed too. Let's just see his reasoning for this, then I'll end up debunking what he's saying.
speed movement or combat feats. Throughout his entire encounter with A and Inoki as an Edo Tensei, he couldn't dodge any of their attacks, more so he blocked them. I'm aware that Edo Tensei aren't as powerful as their alive versions, but there isn't really any evidence that suggests they're so much slower than when they were alive. Not to mention, there aren't that many lightspeed feats or statements in Naruto pre-war.
What? Okay, Naruto downplay in 2025 has to be the craziest things I've heard, bro. Like, you have Naruto and Sasuke in part one handling a character that is light speed. And don't try to tell me, oh, she was not going all out. Yes, she was. Kishimoto himself wrote a data book stating how fast Haku was and how Sasuke was able to perceive Haku. I'm not saying Sasuke has light speed combat speed. Obviously, he doesn't at that point, but his perception speed, he's able to perceive things that are light speed. And you have people like K and Zero Naruto being able to blitz Sasuke's perception to the point where he can't even see anything with the Sharingan on. He even upgraded the Sharingan, getting the three Tomo Sharingan, which is like several times the power of the base version, and he still couldn't keep up with Naruto. You have people like Itachi blitzing Kakashi's perception. What are you talking about? He's one of those guys that use, oh, the Raikage is near the speed of light. Like, that is a mistranslation. It has nothing to do with light speed. It's just like in Japanese, it's like an exaggerated statement saying that, oh, this guy is as fast as light. Like, he's not, they're not talking about actual light speed. I have never, ever used that.
War arc besides Haku's Ice Mirror Jutsu, Mifune's
Okay.
light
Now he mentions the ice mirror jutsu, saying it as if it's one kind of bullshit scaling. And he's seen Onoki right there. He's seen Mifune, excuse me, Mifune right there. Mifune legitimately has a light speed attack. It is stated he has a light speed attack. No matter how much you want to bend the logic around, he has a light speed attack. But he's going to overlook that because he's biased.
speed sword slash, which aren't really relevant to this discussion, and Sasuke's Kirin.
Oh God, why isn't it relevant to the discussion, bro? He just says things like this isn't relevant at all. Why? And you people think I'm biased towards Naruto. Look at this guy. Even the like even Kirin on on screen is stated to move at the speed of light, but he's gonna tell you, oh, it's not
Kirin
valid.
is stated to be a jutsu that attacks at the speed of light. Going off the interaction between it and Itachi.
Let me check if the stream is still. Can you see it now? Eyes and edits.
Has led me to a couple of conclusions. Looking at both the anime and manga, besides a bit of rubble on his back, Itachi didn't have any scratch or dirt marks on his clothing. This is usually an indicator for someone who just took damage. His cloak seems to have been destroyed since we don't see it again, which is something to keep note of. Now, I don't believe Itachi was acting when he was lying on the ground, so this moment can mean either he has light speed reaction.
Now, I just want to explain something to you guys. He is using an Itachi with tuberculosis, like a disease. He's vomiting blood, and he's using that to scale Itachi. Can you see how biased he is? He's using an Itachi. You can see it on the screen. Itachi is vomiting blood. He cannot stand, and he's using that to scale Itachi's reaction speed. What is going on? Okay.
Time and his Susanoo couldn't form in time. At least his Susanoo's ribcage can form at relativistic speeds, or Itachi didn't react in time and set up his Susanoo too late to not go completely unscathed. Either way, this feat can be anywhere between subrelativistic at its lowest interpretation or relativistic at its best, and it would still only be a reaction feat.
This is just crazy, to be honest. Yo, can anyone see what's going on? I feel like no one has seen anything. Can anyone see? Yo, can anyone see what is like what's going on the screen? Because I think I've set. Yo, can anyone see? You can see it now, right? You can still see it now. Eyes and edits. Eyes and edits. Can you see it now? You still on? Bro, can you see it? Can everyone see what's on the screen? Okay, I'm gonna take that as a yes because I don't know.
Madara should upscale from this, especially if you consider his blocking feats to the Raikage and Tsuchikage in addition to his block against Tsunade when she and the Raikage were teleported.
Okay, so for the speed part of Naruto, I've always been very concerned. Multipliers, they don't exist. They don't exist. So when I tell you that Luffy's FTL, I'm trying to be as honest as I can. There is really nothing to get him to FTL plus. Nothing. So saying he's FTL is a normal skill for Luffy. All these MFTL, this is 2025. People should stop using that. Let me check if the stream is still working in China. Okay, good. So let's see what he has to say for
Onto the
this.
battlefield. A is stated to be capable of moving at.
I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew he would bring up this statement. I just no power skiller that skills Naruto or downplays Naruto. There's no power skiller that hasn't used this thing right here. No power skiller. There's no power skiller that hasn't used this right here. They always say, "Oh, he's rushing at almost the speed of light." If you look at the actual Japanese, the raw Japanese, it says rushing at a speed like light. Like it's supposed to be a comparison to something. It's not even about speed, bro. You're just over exaggerating the speed of the lariat, bro. It's not about whether it's light speed or not. I don't advise anyone who scales Naruto to use this. Don't use this data book in general. It has no quantification whatsoever. So there are better statements in Naruto.
Almost the speed of light while performing his AB combo. So there is quite a bit of evidence to suggest Madara has light speed reaction time. Now, attempting to prove that he has light speed combat speed or movement speed is a little harder. There aren't any multiplier could be a low ball for Sage Mode, but since there aren't any statements that can be interpreted to quantify a more accurate multiplier, I'll be going with the assumption that it is at least a 10 times amp.
It's not you're not trying to be fair, bro. Don't behave as if you're trying to be fair, bro. Don't. Sage Mode at a minimum is a 10 times multiplier because this is an imperfect form of Sage Mode. So using logical reasoning, because a lot of people don't know how to use that, that would mean that Sage Mode at a minimum would be a 10 times multiplier. It's obviously more, but we don't have enough quantification. So don't behave as if you're trying to be charitable with Naruto. I dare you to bring out a multiplier for One Piece that is stated like this. I dare you, bro. You can't, because One Piece does not have that.
The admirals are a different story.
Grammarly helps me get the best grades possible while depleting the least amount of hours of my week. I'm Lauren Taylor. I'm a student in Future CMO, and I am a Grammarly user. So when I first got Grammarly, my mom got it for me my junior year of high school to help me with my college application essays. But now it's kind of cool because it's evolved as a platform. Grammarly's AI Compose can help me narrow down what to write about. I can, in 15, 20 minutes, have a decent outline of what I'm going to be writing over the next week or two. It's nice to have a tool that can improve my productivity. Once I've fully fleshed out a draft, I use Grammarly to start looking at clarity and precision. It can tell me things like add more direct quotes if maybe it's gotten a little stale. As a media and journalism student, the integrity of my writing is super important. One of Grammarly's best features is the AI and plagiarism detector. If I quote someone a little too closely, Grammarly can pull that article for me and help me create the citation.
Ever since Thriller Bark, One Piece characters started to display concrete sub-relativistic to relativistic speed feats.
I don't want to like dive into this specific part of the scaling because this has to do with Kuma, and I feel like I have addressed this multiple times. I'm sounding like a broken record right now, repeating One Piece scaling. No, this, this right here, this, this is not light speed. Nothing here is light speed. Okay, I'm gonna explain this again. This is called the pad cannon. Air is repelled at light speed. Full stop. Look at that right there. Air is repelled at light speed because I feel like a lot of people did not go to English class. Okay? So air is repelled at light speed, creating a shock wave that penetrates. The shock wave is a different thing. It is unquantifiable in speed. You see this? These are two sentences, separate. Okay? One Piece fans. One Piece can read. These are two separate sentences, okay? This is ended. This starts. Okay? I just have to put that out there. So Zoro has no light speed feats. This is not light speed at all. This is not light speed whatsoever.
Let's take Zoro as an example since he dodged Kuma's light speed pad cannons
You see?
without observation haki, while tired from his previous fights against swordsman Ryuma and Oars. Luffy, who scales directly above Zoro, has multiple light speed feats from Sabaody Archipelago all the way.
All these feats he showed, the light is traveling significantly more distance than Luffy is traveling. So this is not light speed whatsoever. This is sub-relativistic at the absolute best.
Way to Marineford, where he dodges multiple pacifista lasers, which are replicated from Kizaru's Devil Fruit. These feats are extremely important because after the time skip, Luffy is capable of casually dodging consecutive beams from the pacifista.
You know what's funny about this feat? This is the most overrated feat in the entire of the One Piece fandom. This feat is 1%. I repeat myself, 1% the speed of light. 1%. Yo, Eisen edits, bro. Can you hear me? I'm trying to get an answer from you guys. Can you guys hear me?
And goes as far as to call them slow. Each of the admirals scale directly above even this version of Luffy, including his potential Gear 4 form, which increases his abilities several times beyond his base, which should include Gear 2. For reference, in Enies Lobby, Luffy essentially figured out the trick behind Soru, which allows someone to essentially hit the ground more than 10 times each instant. This can be interpreted to essentially make Gear 2 a 10 times amp.
You see what I'm talking about? He uses a lot of headcanon to try and gauge multipliers, which I just don't agree with whatsoever. That is the problem with the One Piece community, bro. They don't have feats, but they try to like misinterpret the entire manga to scale your character above other characters, like saying Whitebeard is planetary, which is just I don't understand how anyone thinks someone like Whitebeard is planetary, or the One Piece versus planetary in general. It's not possible.
When Luffy uses Gear 4, Doflamingo says that his use of Armament Haki and Tensile Force raises his power several times beyond its limits. Several could mean 3 to 4 times, and Gear 4 increases speed in addition to power. On Whole Cake Island, Luffy struggles to fight Sweet General Cracker and his Biscuit Knights. Their battle lasted an entire night, and Luffy, even with his speed, couldn't tag Cracker a single time thanks to his ability to spawn an infinite number of soldiers. Cracker is also fast enough to attack Gear 4 Luffy mid-attack. He eventually fights Kuzan, who is now part of the Blackbeard Pirates, and instantly gets blitzed and one-shot without any trouble. Kuzan is also fast enough that he can instantly freeze Doflamingo before he could kill Smoker, who was already in his grasp, and Dofi is fast enough to at least keep up with Gear 4 Luffy. As for Kizaru, he can
Notice
keep
how
up with
he
a
doesn't
Yonko
state
Luffy
any
version of Gear
multipliers.
4 Snake Man, while seemingly taking no damage, and by accelerating his speed, is even capable of blitzing Snake Man Luffy.
Yo,
Who could have been potentially using Future Sight. He's fast enough and strong enough that he sent Luffy